Emmaus had to first take care of business against Easton last night. The Green Hornets sweeping the first four of their first 6 opponents to start the season, looking to make quick work of the Red Rovers, who had dropped 2 of their previous 3, but coming off a big win over Hazleton. Our Sean Fritz has more.
The Easton Red Rovers played host to the undefeated Emmaus Green Hornets on Tuesday night, and it was Emmaus showing early on why they've sat atop the EPC standing so far this season. First, it was Emmaus' Owen Kennedy with the net presence as he records the kill. Then it was Easton's Connor Wilson unable to get it past Emmaus' Bryce Steele. The Hornets opened the first set on a 6-1 run and would stretch that lead to as much as 17-5. The Red Rovers would chip away at the deficit and they'd pull to within 6, but the outside hitting of Ethan Parvell and Steven Reynolds was too much for Easton down the stretch. Emmaus wins the first set 25-17. The second set would be a much more competitive one from start to finish, as Emmaus couldn't get out of its own way early on, allowing Easton to play with a lead for the first time in the match. They'd be on a 9-4 run to open the second set, but Emmaus would scratch away at that lead despite the Rovers' efforts at holding them off. Emmaus would finally pull it back to within even at 17 apiece thanks to the kill from Deal. Emmaus would end the set on an 8-4 run from that point on and would take set 2 25-21 to go up 2-0 in the match. The third set featured back and forth scoring for most of the set, with Easton holding the slight advantage, but the Rovers would be unable to string any scoring runs together as Emmaus continued to follow closely behind until we get to a little more than halfway through the set, where it was Emmaus seizing the momentum for the final time as Parvell's final kill clinches it for the Hornets 25-18 to defeat the Red Rovers.
I think our energy has allowed us to be successful when we're playing well. We've got depth at most of the positions, but then the energy is also probably our Achilles heel right now too. So if we don't keep the energy up, we get in these lulls like we had in, I believe it was the second set.
Despite a few competitive stretches by the Red Rovers here on Tuesday night, it was Emmaus taking care of business as they were able to complete the 3-set sweep. Now looking ahead, they know they've got to keep that high energy from start to finish, especially when they get set for the biggest match of the year on Thursday night against Whitehall.
I think the big thing is just going to be consistency, not forcing things, not getting rattled if we get into a tough spot. I think tonight I told them was a good example of momentum in a game, and if you lose the momentum, you've got to worry about the next point, not worry about whether you thought there was a bad call or things like that. Just take care of what you need to on your side of the court and get the next point.
We're focused on high energy. We kind of get down at times, just bringing the intensity and having fun. We know when we're playing our game, we don't worry about the calls, don't worry about the other team. We're a pretty good team and we're a hard team to beat, so that's gonna be the key to go in.
On the scene from Easton Area High School, Sean Fritz for 2 Sports.
So Easton will play at Southern Lehigh on Friday for their next match, and as we mentioned, a big showdown between Emmaus and Whitehall coming up, the 2 battle of unbeaten. You're right, hard for me to remember that. It just happened 5 seconds ago. But consistency, like Coach Dunkel said, they've now swept 5 of their 7 opponents, so you got to be ready and prepared if you do get down a set or 2 to be able to battle back. And I imagine the Zephyrs have a little payback on the minds because Emmaus may have swept them in the EPC and district finals a year ago, so it should be a good one at Whitehall on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's the matchup we've all been waiting for early on, and now the 2 teams' records show that it will be just that. Emmaus at 7-0, Whitehall 8-0. Of course, we'll be there on Thursday nights. We'll have a recap of Thursday night's big-time showdown on Friday's edition of Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Time now for our